this is like our one and done, right? We got a couple other offers that were like absolutely lowball offers, and that just wasn't going to do. So we had a very particular situation where this buyer needed to be close to a family member. They were helping with other children in the family that were right around the corner. And I think they'd taken in a family member's child as well. So they needed their family unit to be tight together. And this was the solution. And what a godsend. And you want to talk about an understanding mind? You want to know why my sellers were moving? Welcome back. Today, we are going to talk about when the perfect buyer comes along. So, every once in a blue moon, you get a really unique listing, and you have to address that very carefully with the seller, right? You don't want to like spook them and scare them away, but you want them to be prepared that this house just may not fly off the shelf, right? And that was the case with this property. And you remember how I said, back in 2018, 19, 17, 16, it was normal for us to have a year-long listing agreement and we didn't expect houses to sell super fast? Well, sure enough, this one sold in about 3.5 months. We actually listed it in September of 2018. This would have been my last deal for 2018, but it actually didn't close until 2019 and it started off my year. So I want to tell you a little bit about this property. It was located out in Wedgefield, South Carolina, kind of out in the woodworks, which is no big deal. It was still like in a neighborhood setting. And honestly, it was a really pretty setting for the house, but it was unique, okay? They took a additional bedroom and turned it into like a laundry craft room. And then there was an addition that was turned into like a big bonus room. So it had a beautiful primary suite and everything the house needed, but it did not have a bunch of additional bedrooms, right? So, technically speaking, it was kind of like a three-bedroom house shifted into a two-bedroom house with all of this extra living space. And it had a great setting outside too. It was really mature, lots of trees, very private, even though it was kind of in a neighborhood situation. So, either way, when we listed this property, you have to go, geez, am I pricing this as somebody that wants to pay for a three-bedroom house or a two-bedroom house, right? And ultimately, we listed it very fair. We listed it for $124,000 and it ended up selling for $122,000. So we did okay. What was really interesting is that when we had this buyer come along, we had a moment of saying, all right, this is like our one and done, right? We got a couple other offers that were like absolutely lowball offers, and that just wasn't going to do. So we had a very particular situation where this buyer needed to be close to a family member. They were helping with other children in the family that were right around the corner. And I think they'd taken in a family member's child as well. So they needed their family unit to be tight together. And this was the solution. And what a godsend. And you want to talk about an understanding mind? You want to know why my sellers were moving? My sellers had children that were in the military, which is what brought them to South Carolina. They bought a house in South Carolina while their children were stationed at Shaw Air Force Base in Sumter, just so that they could help and be a part of their grandbabies' lives. How amazing is that? Now children have moved to Northern Virginia. They're in the Fairfax area, and mom and dad are coming to move in with them. They're going to be a multi-generational crew. They had like a in-law suite down in the basement, and they just decided they were going to jump and do it. How freaking amazing! They absolutely cherished the idea of supporting their family, being there with their grandchildren, and really just finding a way to make it all work. And it's such a blessing. So, in this scenario, right, my sellers were super understanding and willing to do anything they needed to help the buyers. And same deal, the buyers, we knew, like, okay, we have this really good offer on the table. It's pretty darn close to exactly what we want. What are we going to do to make sure it gets to the closing table? And there was a little bit of a hiccup along the way because this buyer wasn't like super uber qualified. So we had to make sure that they had the assistance they needed and the support they needed to get to the closing table. Not often do you go, hey, Mr. Seller, Mrs. Seller, I really need you to make sure that this buyer can close on this property, right? It's the buyer's obligation to be qualified and to be able to to get to the closing table, right? That's not anything we can control, so to speak. But in this instance, we all just really wanted it to work. It was extremely important to both parties to sell and to be where they needed to be. So we made it happen. And there was a couple of little things that came up here or there that we adjusted on, but it was nothing major. And thankfully, everything went smooth sailing. So what a blessing, right? But this is where I want to talk about the unexpected extras again, okay? When you are moving on a whim, you don't quite know the timing of things fall through the cracks. That's just life. And thank goodness I can be of assistance. And this is what I am here for. So there were two different instances that I was able to help a seller outside of just listing and selling their home. One was extremely simple, another one was really important. The first one was, hey, I'm leaving on a weekend and I can't return my cable box to Spectrum. What am I supposed to do? I said, no big deal. Leave the box at the house. I'll come pick it up and I'll take it up there this week. They really just couldn't believe that I was willing to do that. Let me back up a minute and tell you that she had a history in real estate many years ago. So she said, I've had my license before. It's just been a really long time. So I really don't want to try to sell the house by myself. I'd rather just let somebody do it. And they were a godsend to me and vice versa. There is nothing that fuels my business more than just getting somebody's good graces. After the transaction was done, they spoke so highly of me, and I was so thankful for that. So that's all I needed. That's all I needed was for them to pass my name along and say, Brittany, you did a great job. Makes everything worth it. So, anyways, I made a fun trip to Spectrum. Who likes hanging out at Spectrum? But you know what? I can sit there and get a little bit of work knocked out on my phone and help them out. No big deal. The other thing that happened is I went by to check on the property and there was a package there. And come to find out, it was the husband's insulin medication. The address didn't get switched in time, something, and it was on like an auto ship program. So here we are with his very important medicine that he needs. So I am very blessed that I went by the house and was able to scoop it up and make sure that it was okay. Get it in the refrigerator until we decided what to do with it. And once I got a hold of them, they gave me their forwarding address. I was able to take it to the store and get it shipped to them, overnighted to them. And of course, whenever this happened, it was over a weekend, so I couldn't ship it right away. So they said, just please leave it in the refrigerator, and then when you can, send it overnight to us. So I'm here just to remind you that realtors don't just help you buy and sell houses, right? We are here for an experience and we are providing a service to our clients. And we really do want to take care of them in any way, shape, or form that we possibly can. And it's the little things that really go a long way. So I want you to remember that whenever you're talking to a realtor and you're like, oh, I've bought and sold a house before. I really just don't think I need the help. I can handle it. Okay, well, just remember there's going to be other things along the way. And we are here to lean into, right? Are we here to be at your beck and call? No. Are we here to be your little personal shoppers? No, not really. But you know what? If something comes up and you need our help and we're available and able to do it, you bet I will be there and I will follow through and make sure that you are taken care of. So I just want to remind you that we are here to be a blessing to you, not a burden to you. We are here to help you successfully buy or sell a property and help you navigate all of the things in between, personal or business related, right? And I also want to remind you that it doesn't matter how big or small the sale is, my quality of service to my clients and customers will always be top notch. Okay. This wasn't an expensive house, it was $122,000. And I was more than happy to go above and beyond for my folks. And because they were kind and generous to me too. And that makes me feel really good. It makes me want to help them. It makes me want to go the extra mile. So, also, just a kind reminder that when you're talking to a realtor, right, we're here to work together with you as a team, not to be bossed around or to think that you are hiring us, right? That's not really how this goes. And you guys have heard the story before, but I'll just remind you. I had a client that called me one night and said, the only reason you're answering my phone call right now is because you want me as a client, you need me, da 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 da. And I had to remind him, no, sir, I do not. I would love the opportunity to work with you because you are a veteran and military is my clientele and I love taking care of my military families. Additionally, he was overseas. So I love the opportunity to bring the families back together and have all the right things happen for them. But it was a good reminder to me that I also have to explain my worth sometimes. Otherwise, how do people know? And otherwise, how do they know how it works to be involved with a realtor, right? It's up to us to share that and to set that expectation and our standards with our clients. But I can promise you this, that I will take care of you. And if you take care of me, then I will continue to take care of you as long as I possibly can. So, all in all, this was a successful transaction. We found our unicorn buyer, and it was such a blessing to everybody all around. My sellers got to move to Virginia and go hang out with their grandbabies. The new buyers were close to their family and getting to help within their family, and everybody was happy. Can you ask for anything more? I don't think so. So, what a beautiful way to start 2019. And I don't think I've disclosed this yet, but from 2018 to 2019, I was on my own. My husband was actually overseas in Korea, and real estate was my world. It was me and the dogs. So, this is just what I needed to have a transaction like this that was feel good and I made somebody happy. It just breathed life back into me. So here we go, 2019. We are going to keep burning rubber and the transactions just speed up from here. I went from doing the same amount of transactions in 2018 to the same amount of transactions in the first 6 months of 2019. So once I started rolling, man, that rock just went way downhill super fast. And we started accumulating some speed and some numbers and some clients. And it was a beautiful blessing. But boy, was it a roller coaster. And you are going to find out all about it as we continue to go through my transactions in 2019.